Hey YouTube, coming at you with SKELEDIRGE in the Ultra League. So obviously with the Incinerate buff, it kind of jumped up in the rankings like really high, like top 30. I think it has an interesting play in the Ultra League. I think one, what it lacks is bulk. Um, so it's basically, so these starters, really there's very few of them, if any, that get to like the XL stage, right? Because they're all third stage evolutions. So you're looking at like level 32, 35. So that kind of hurts overall when you're talking about just like bulk of these Pokemon in the Ultra League. So that is definitely a negative of these Pokemon. But the only way that these legendary, not legendary, starter Pokemon become strong in the Ultra League is if they get some sort of community day move, right? So if SKELEDIRGE eventually, I don't know what this community move is. I'm assuming some sort of like Blast Burn or something. Gets a community move like probably like 3 years from now. It will be like top five realistically in the Ultra League because it's just such a. It is actually quite a strong Pokemon already. Like Incinerate's got the buff, which is nice, but having like Disarming Voice and Shadow Ball is a really nice combo, and the Shadow Ball really hurts. So just again, you're a bit weak just because you're a bit glassy compared to other Ultra League Pokemon. And then weaknesses like Dark, you're having Fire and Ghost kind of sucks, right? Because you're like Ghost is like Dark and other Ghost, and then like Fire is like Water and Ground. So you add a few there, so it's just like okay, so you gotta cover so many weaknesses. I covered all those weaknesses with Glycopod. I just think as the safe swap is just very easy. You see something on the lead like a water or something that you don't like, Glycopod just is pretty safe to get into. And then Lurantis helps because it can deal with sort of darks, Fury Cutter plus Superpower will deal with darks, plus one of the main ghosts is, and I mean water, and then one of the main ghosts is also water in Jellicent, so Leaf Blade will do well. So that's good. So I started 5-0. You're going to see 5 straight wins in the 5-0. And then I started coming back to reality and I went like 1-3 after. And then I think no, 2-3. But one of those was like an opponent quit. So it was like 1-3 after. So then yeah, came back to reality a bit. But this is like Glycopod's just like power, right? So I had, they try and catch thinking it would be like an X-Scissor or something. But it was a Aerial Ace. So now I went from being in a okayish matchup against Jellicent to a super dominating one here. They can only throw resisted moves, just guaranteeing the lower attack, which is fine. I'm going to very easily take switch here, which means I can now get my Lurantis on their Jellicent, which is huge. So get another Ace off. This will take it out. So there we go. I just flip switch plus a shield advantage. Looking good here. Out comes a Skunk. That's fine. Just get off Liquidation, which is good chip. Now I can align my SKELEDIRGE on this. Again, I still need to take super effective crunches. But at this point, who cares? Because my win condition is Lurantis. So I probably just let the first one go. You know what? I actually may have to shield because... Oh, okay, so I actually just get that full Incinerate through, so I'm just going to have to shield and farm down because I'll get a Shadow Ball off on the Jellicent. Yeah, Lurantis being a grass is going to take super effective from poison, so I probably had to stay in there just to get that out. But there's a big boom. I can live a Shadow Ball. I'll shield. I can live a Shadow Ball, so even if they could bait Surf, I think I'll outpace, yeah. Even if this is a Shadow Ball, I will significantly outpace to 2 more Leaf Blades before they get to another one. So there's 1, and I'm going to outpace the 2 here. Because Lurantis is very spammy. And there we go. So that's a good start. Despite a bad lead, right? Glycopod in the mid game there. I mean, it would have been better if they came in with Skunk against me. This one's interesting. Like, Incinerate, neutral. Disarming Voice, super effective. Night Slash, super effective. Counter resisted. So it's like, okay. Lots of trade-offs here. Do not get the bump on the first one. They catch a Disarming Voice on the Cresselia, which is actually a nice catch. I will eventually get into my Glycopod. I do think it's worth farming up a bit and getting the Shadow Ball off, because this stab, super effective Shadow Ball on a Crest does a lot of damage. And then, yeah, forces a shield, because if they didn't shield, that would put them in like the deep red. So being able to force a shield there is nice. I do shield 1-up, because I just think that I don't have X-Scissor. X-Scissor would be super effective. I run Aerial Ace, as a lot of people do. Liquidation, okay, but not enough to take out, so I'm going to have to shield one anyways and get hit with one here. So I do get hit with one, that's fine, I'll live. It's just important to make sure that I can come out with, I was going to say take it out and come out with advantage, but they decide to give out switch, so they're jumping around. Claws are triple resisted, so it's not surprising. I am at liquidation. I didn't know if I'd get there, so I just threw the Aerial Ace, but their defense is lower, so I may grab a shield. If not, that's okay. I can probably just incinerate down, which is actually pretty, yeah, and I'm not even going to allow them to counter me down here. I'm just going to full out incinerate. Getting that extra damage is huge. They come out with a fairy, which is an interesting choice against a fire, but I guess they think that their crest is already too low. So I grab one shield and still just able to get to another move, which is huge because my Lurantis was going to have some problems with this. But now that takes it low enough. I come in Lurantis, get these super effective bug Fury Cutters off. I can take one move, but Future Sight will hurt. And now I'm going to have a move coming out, so I'm going to win that match. Okay, Dragonite. Tough lead, but not one I can really pivot from, having a grass and then at best like a evenish matchup with Golisopod. So here, I think the fact that you have Disarming Voice, which is a one-shot, makes this matchup like not the worst. And I'm going to shield this because I'm at a second move, right? So that's unfortunate. We both all right moves there. So I'm going to double shield, but I probably won't let them. So I get a full Incinerate through, which is nice. Because now I'm only one away. So if they try to go for the full farm down, not knowing how much energy I'm at, yeah, I don't even know if they're at the third Dragon Claw, quite honestly. So able to take this in the 2 shield against a Dragonite, which is huge. Fortunately, there is a Venusaur in the back, so my grass Pokemon's kind of useless against it. I'm still taking neutral from these frenzies, which are going to add up. So I really need to get this Aerial Ace off. They catch on a Swampert, so nice catch. So I'm going to farm back up because I really need to commit with a move here. And then I am going to catch my own on my grass. And good news is it's going to take like 3 Hydros to take me out here, maybe even more. So the goal is to take this next one and then come out, hit it with the Leaf Blade to take it out, and then come out with a little bit of energy so I can kind of spam these Leaf Blades to put this Venusaur lower enough that I can Aerial Ace. I mean, I should be able to Aerial Ace anyways, but... So what you're going to see here is, okay, Fairy Cutter neutral, Leaf Blades double resisted, grass and poison. So those are doing nothing, but I don't need them to do much. I just need them to get to low enough that it's now Aerial Ace range. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to throw. I'm going to let them throw their fast move, and then I'm just going to snipe in the mid of their fast move. So that's just being aware that your kind of win condition is sniping when they're stuck in their animation, as opposed to letting them get to 2 moves and then you lose TMP. Speaking of another sort of awkward matchup, when you have both doing resisted fast moves and both doing super effective charge moves. Disarming Voice for Scald. Did I count wrong? And by wrong, do I mean, did I count it all? Were they even at a Scald? I tried to catch. And I threw anyways, which is interesting. Maybe they just want to guarantee the lower my attack before they come in with something else here. I mean, this is such a dominating matchup. I probably myself would have banked that energy on Poliwrath and then come in here because you're probably going to beat me anyways. Claws are resisted. Aerial Ace, super effective. So I need to like chip this enough, hopefully, that I can just incinerate Disarming Voice down. But again, this is dark, right? So it's still doing super effective against my Ghost. So Lurantis might have to sweep here for me. So I'm going to get the 1 off here. Not enough to take out. I think Mana Buzz is just too tanky. But they shield. So that is actually nice. I'll be interested to see if I shield back because I really don't want to take a super effective Dark Pulse and then have to be out for my Lurantis. So this I don't know if it's enough to take out, but it's going to be pretty close if it doesn't take out. Yeah, so I can probably just incinerate down, and I have a move coming out, which is nice. And they are not going to allow me to come in there, but they are coming into a matchup here. So I think my only sort of win condition is getting ahead on energy here. Taking this move. I have no choice. I have no shields. But getting ahead on energy so that the Poliwrath comes in and dumped all its energy, I can just Leaf Blade and take this out. Or if I can't take it out, I'm going to put it pretty low. So put it very low. They could get enough an AC win now, though. Which at this point is fine, because I can probably just incinerate this down. Oh, I do get to move, which is not terrible. Because what ends up happening here is that one Rock Slide does not take me out. And I do get to this Disarming Voice, and it's low enough that Disarming Voice will take it out, because those incinerates are adding up, right? So just live, get the Disarming Voice off, take this match. So SKELEDIRGE, like, even though it's a bit glassier and it doesn't have community moves, it's still kind of a menace in here. So I have terrible lead, but I have two answers to this in the back. And they come Charizard. And to go 5-0 here, I need to bait twice. So I bait once, which is nice. I'm already low enough that I'm basically in Dragon Claw range. So I kind of have to shield everything. But they just actually went straight Blast Burn. So that actually is nice. They probably could have just Wing Attack me. Wing Attack being super effective. And then just Dragon Claw. But I grabbed the second shield off a second bait. So even though we CMP here, I have absolutely no problems shielding this up. Because I would like to get my Lurantis on their Swampert, because otherwise I'm going to have a tough time with SKELEDIRGE on it. So goodbye Charizard. Flip switch there, which is huge. I'm wondering if they're... So Walrein. The only problem with this is farm down. They are going to get to an Earthquake. But an Earthquake thankfully does not KO. And they're going to eventually try and like snipe here or something, or at least get that off. But I am able to take switch, like get this alignment that I want. One high, oh, Earthquake. I'm just gonna make sure I come out with multiple moves. Yeah, come out with multiple moves, have moves on my SKELEDIRGE. That's resist, like they just dumped an Earthquake, they don't have it. So there's your 5-0. And then we go here where they will have a they're going to have Brutal Swing. So that's probably going to chip pretty quickly here. Right? Not quite enough to take out, but enough to do some good chip. They're timing their fast moves well, right? 2 fast moves. That's the problem. I think there's going to be a couple of these losses here where the 5-turn fast move comes into play. So I get a Shadow Ball off. They end up shielding, which is fine. I get another one off. So this will take out or grab a shield. So I take it out, which is nice. Like, took switch against Galarian Weezing. That's nice. Jellicent. I think this is where I probably made a mistake. I just let them farm me. Like, I can already tell I made a mistake. I have 2 answers to Jellicent, essentially. Gliscopod is like an evenish matchup. Lurantis is a great matchup. There's no reason to let them just like get so far ahead on energy and take out a Pokemon of mine that had a little bit of energy left. So I should have made that switch to Gliscopod immediately. I think I probably waited because in the moment I'm like, oh, I can get my grass on this. This is great. But now they're ahead on energy. There's a Shadow Ball. Out comes a Kingdra. I make a mistake here. Leaf Blade. It's yes, everything's neutral. Leaf Blade is the way to go. There's no point of going super power there. Leaf Blade would have been way better. So much so that I probably could have taken this out here and then had easy alignment. But now this doesn't take out. They get an Outrage off, take me out. So this was just a throw. I probably should have switched sooner first, and then I definitely should have thrown the Leaf Blade second. And you're going to see I actually lose by like a couple HP just short of my 3rd Leaf Blade here. So kind of really not well played there. They just full farm me down as I'm getting to Leaf Blade, and super power is more energy. Like, hate to see it. Ampharos. This is where the 5-turn fast move cost me, because if you go to my timing video, When you have a 5-turn fast move against a 4-turn fast move Pokemon, it is very, very tough to actually align perfectly. The best way you want to align, hopefully, is getting off in 3 Incinerates, so 3 times 5 is 15. Well, then they get off 4 4s to get to 16, so you only get that 1 extra energy through, right? The problem is, as you're going to see here, they're never going to allow me to get to 4. So that was 3. So now I have a decision to make. I'm at a move. If I want to get a charge move off, they're going to get 4 turns worth of energy here. If I throw another move, they're still going to get like 3 turns worth of energy and get an advantage to maybe get another move off, right? So there's 1, there's 2. So that's okay. That's only 2 on there. I'm going to have to shield now. And again, here we go. I have to go to basically 100 energy, but this will be not the best fast move timing. That they're going to get 4 plus 4 is 8. They're going to get 3 turns worth of energy here while I have to throw here. And if I want to go back to back to get the thing off, I have to, but else they're going to get to another move. So I have to just let this 4-turn fast move go. So you're just letting Ampharos get so much energy. They essentially just got like 7 or 8. Yeah, 4 plus the 3 there. They got 7 free turns worth of energy because you have to try and align the fast moves as best you can, but also having to play with like getting the moves off. So that is killer. And now all that extra energy, like I would not have to take this move if I had a shorter move, right? So now I should be at like at least half health instead of the red that I'm in here. SKELEDIRGE in the back, like that's rough. I do have a shield, and then Registeel is just kind of tough. But yeah, really, really tough with a 5-turn fast move. Like 3s, 2s, and 1s are, I mean, 1s and 2s are obviously great. 3s are okay because you can just throw 1 Incinerate and then your charge move, because that's 5 and they'll do 2 and that's 1, which is where you want to be. But the 5 versus 4, like I just lost this matchup primarily because I could not fast move optimization properly, and just they got so much extra energy on their they've got so much extra energy on their Ampharos. So it's like, what can you do? Mirror match. Talking about crap. So Incinerate resisted. Disarming Voice resisted. You can't fast move time because it's the same type attack, so you just have to let the full 5 go through. Bait game here. So I went Shadow Ball. They shielded. I'm going to shield. They go Disarming Voice, so now they have an advantage. So they're already at a second one. So I know they're at a Shadow Ball, so I have to shield. So basically, I go up as almost high as I can, and I get the Shadow Ball off, and they don't shield it. If they wanted to, they could shield and take Switch here. If I actually threw the Shadow Ball, which I did. But they did not. They let it go. Tapu comes in. So I have 2 sort of answers for this. Right? Water is resistant on both. Moonblast neutral on both. So you might as well come in and just start chipping as much as you can. So even if I take a Moonblast, probably won't take me out. So probably not enough to take me out. Attack does fall, which is rough. But you know what? Shadow Claw and Air Lace, we are chipping here. To a tune of decent amount that they have to throw out. So I'm going to get to probably another move because Water Gun's resisted. So now I just need to burn the Switch Clock a little bit because I'm probably still Switch locked. And then Lurantis is, hopefully they have like a second water or something in the back that I can deal with here. So they are not throwing. They eventually come in Venusaur. And I think that it's probably in my best interest just to try and get this out of here. They throw a move. I think it's a Frenzy, but just not enough to take me out. I know it's resisted. I don't think I could get to another one. I think they're going to be able to farm me down here. And that center will not register because I go out there. So it's like, okay, I know these are like double resisted. Maybe I throw a superpower there, but then they get to a Sludge Bomb and they're going to take me out. So again, tough. Just tough in the back, right? Talonflame. I think this is probably the last one. This mirror match is like okay-ish because your Shadow Balls are probably doing more than their Flies are doing. Although much faster to get to their Fly. They eventually come in Umbreon. I'm going to chip with Disarming Voice here. And then eventually get into Lurantis. I'm still going to like bank a bunch of energy. I know I can easily take this with Lurantis, but I also know that Lurantis is just going to get destroyed by Talonflame, right? So my goal is to like get as low as I can while hopefully potentially taking this out. So I've got back-to-back superpowers here, so I'm just going to go straight superpower. It does not quite take out. And then they're at a move. I'm just like, you know what? I can get a full Incinerate through on this and just get even more energy. So that's exactly what I did. Got the Incinerate through, even more energy. Their Talonflame comes in. Again, you can't really fast move time anything there. So got one Shadow Ball off. Gonna go for a second one. SKELEDIRGE, I guess, loses CMP against Talonflame. Interesting. But once I get this move out, I gotta instantly swap to Golisopod. And they end up shielding, which is nice. And they're not at a move, so I get the Liquidation off, which is enough to take out. So I'll have shield advantage for whatever is in the back. And what is in the back? Cresselia. So again, X-Scissor would be way better here, but with the shield advantage, I should be okay. And let's see what in the Ultra League, level 50, SKELEDIRGE versus Talonflame. Yeah, okay. So Talonflame is at 160.4 attack, and SKELEDIRGE is only at 157. Huh. It's interesting that I mentioned like against these XL, SKELEDIRGE doesn't have the bulk. SKELEDIRGE actually has a higher overall stat product than Talonflame. Let me put in my stats, what I have here. I have a 4, 15, 13. Yeah, so it's even worse. It's a 155 attack. But you know what? The defense is about even, 142.3 versus 142.8. But my stamina is way higher, 180 versus 168. Interesting. So Swampert. Yeah, so it is like Talonflame is just, I think, a little glassy because Swampert basically has the same sort of stats as SKELEDIRGE. 158 attack versus 155, 140 defense versus 142 defense, and 176 stamina versus 180 stamina. So they're very, very, very comparable, Swampert and thing, which is what you would expect. You just need sort of that thing versus, again, like Giratina, overall 4600, stat product 209 stamina. Let's just do non-legendaries like Jellicent, 197 defense, 197 stamina, 157 defense, 4400 overall. Don't even want to look up Umbreon and stuff because those are defensive heavy. What other Pokemon are like decent hitters but like bulky that have the XL, not Steelix? I want to do like XL Pokemon that aren't just like legendary. Let me just quickly go to PvPoke here, look up the Ultra League rankings. Poliwrath, right? Poliwrath is now an XL Pokemon in this. Same thing. 157 defense, which is 15 higher than SKELEDIRGE. 4159 overall stat product, which is like almost 200 higher. Mandibuzz we know is going to be XL'd. Jellicent I already did. Lantern we know is just going to be up. Like, again, Lantern should be way higher. Yep, 237 stamina, 4,000 overall. Tentacruel, so Tentacruel will be the last one I check. But same thing, yep, 185 defense, 168 stamina, 4391 overall. And that's basically goes back to what I said at the beginning. These non-XL starter Pokemon will just not have the bulk that these other XL Pokemon that are now dominating Ultra League will have, which means that they need some sort of community move to really be effective in this. I think SKELEDIRGE is by far the best. I think SKELEDIRGE, I'm going on record as saying, is probably the best Pokemon, the best starter Pokemon to use that does not have a community move yet. It is just so strong with decent stat products. The Incinerate buff helps us a ton. I think without the Incinerate buff, it'd probably be much lower. But then Disarming Voice Shadow Ball is a nice combo. So that's Skeledirge. Again, started strong. Even some of those losses, like that's one I threw. Tough backline. So it's a pretty solid team overall. Yeah. So that is it. Stay tuned for a few more videos. I don't know what I'm going to do. The views were fun while it lasted, while everyone was excited about it. But views have come back to reality, which is fine. But I'll keep pumping them out as long as people keep showing up. Anyways, that is it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.